We are the Nerdy Turtle Network.
Hello, and welcome to Icons of the Wider World here on the Nerd Turtle Network. I'm the GM, and with me today will be Curtis playing all of his characters,
Hola.
and Mike playing all of his characters,
Hi from all of us.
and Taylor playing all of his characters. Or I should say any or all of their characters.
I'm sure a number will appear.
Because this is part one of the three-part conclusion to Season 3. Or, I mean, of Season 2. I am off my game. We had a lot of tech issues before we came on here. I am off my game today. So, anyway, last session wrapped up the S.P.E.A.R team dealing with the behemoth creature that had come out of the sands of Saudi Arabia. The actual plan to take down the creature went surprisingly smoothly. Only to have an appearance of someone that identified himself as a Harbinger of the Quel-kik. You get the impression that was a bad thing, but after speaking to you for a little while, he left without committing any violence or anything. And you were then approached by someone that referred to themselves as the Mourner. And he started filling you in on what the Quel-kik are, how they end universes. Sometimes after that universe kind of reached its natural conclusion when it's already entering heat death. But other times they seem to leak into reality while you still have life running around, in which case they wipe everything out. The first creature you were speaking to, the Harbinger, talk at all today. The Mourner has observed him through essentially three separate universes. Kind of described him as running a sort of almost think of him as a cultist. You know, whatever between space or outside reality realm the Quel-kik live in, he exists there with a group of kind of refugees from the different worlds they've taken out. As the barriers, into reality weaken, these guys kind of slip in first. So everyone was kind of, or the S.P.E.A.R guys were kind of putting everyone on alert. You had notified your government liaison agent, Tolliver, and he was trying to get in touch with everybody. That was a week ago. Game time, not real time. In that week, they have managed to identify three of these Harbingers. You have the one that you spoke to last session that the government's just labeled Harbinger 1. Harbinger 2, about a week, or shortly after the conversation they had, halfway through the week, I guess, appeared in Seattle and was confronted by a local hero named Dynaman. Flying brick, not, well known in the Pacific Northwest, not really known too much outside of there. Strong, but not on par with, the Primus or the Blue Ensign. Or Land Shark, any of your kind of top tier strength guys. But he held his own against this guy all right until Harbinger 1 showed up, and with a gesture, Dynaman just fell out of the sky. Managed to use his cape where he landed on top of a building, but is currently comatose. It smashed him up pretty good. A few days after that, in Savannah, Georgia, There was a battle between another one of the Harbingers, Harbinger 3, and the Crucible. This Harbinger, the Harbinger 2, had kind of a reptilian look to him. I'll go into more description as y'all eventually run into him. Harbinger 3 was a cloaked figure they couldn't make much detail out of. He was using kind of an old-fashioned hand-to-hand weapon. He was seen leaving the scene, and no one saw the Crucible leave. But when the authorities swept in, they didn't find the Crucible laying around somewhere either. Though there were some civilian deaths in that incident. And that kind of gets us to where we're... That would be things all your characters would know, because this has been all over the news. Information has kind of leaked out about what's going on. Not quite the, oh, hey guys, the world's about to end because, big Cthulhu monsters. That part has been kept under wraps. But everybody knows you've got these three. They're just kind of listing them as aliens right now to the general public. But they're traveling around. People are on the lookout for them. The story today starts up on the ship that the S.P.E.A.R team uses as its orbital base. A ship it confiscated from pirates back in our season 1. Back when they were a non-government team known as the Unknowns. Ironically known as the Unknowns? I'm not sure. I blame Zach for the name.
I'm sure he will gladly take that blame, since he's not here to defend himself.
Yep. So you're having a massive meeting of heroes, basically in the emptied out launching bay, because the ship can hold 3 or 4 kind of shuttle or fighter sized vehicles. So you have a little staged area, and up on the stage, which is just a slightly raised area. It's not like anybody's putting on a concert, but hang on a second, let me get my notes arranged where I can actually read them. So up on the stage is S.P.E.A.R, which is of course made up of Unison, Toss-Up, Independence Ray, Recluse, and as of a couple of days ago, Landshark. He looks very excited to be up there.
Oh yes, he is.
Nothing's getting him down right now. Not even when the Primus showed up and Agent Tolliver told him Landshark was a member. And the Primus looks the agent dead in the eyes and goes, just how bad is this situation? Elsewhere in the room, you have, the Haunted are here with Mott. The Misfits, the Queen's Guard, which is a team from England. The Mighty Task Force Cybernetic 5 from Japan are here. Over in one little cluster, you've got Frost Giant, Serpent Boy, Patience, the Comet. Joining them is John Modison, Godling for Hire, and his cousin, me oldest Helldaughter. You have independent heroes walking around. Muckboot, the Rocker, the Boogeyman, Whippet, Dojo Loach, the Primus. He is talking to a heroine from New York known as the Night Terror. The once more out of retirement multidimensional man is walking around. There's a hero from New Orleans named Deck. A weather manipulator from the Midwest named Microburst.
Are the Australian superheroes here?
Not yet. An Agent Davis, which all the S.P.E.A.R guys will be familiar with, him and Tolliver tended to be partners. He stands over to one side with several S.P.E.A.R agents kind of surrounding these other 4 people that some of your heroes will recognize. Skyscraper, Gothic, Viltro Elquane, the pirate captain that this ship used to belong to, and Squadron. the multiplying flying super strong guy. All of them seem to have some sort of devices attached to them somewhere. They don't look super happy to be here, but they're behaving themselves. As all these people are arriving and starting to look around, some of y'all are talking to, some of your characters are talking to one another. Just kind of in an empty space, there's just suddenly a line of people holding hands. Like they were walking, holding hands, it suddenly came to a stop. And that is Walkabout, and with him is all three of the ensigns, the Aurora Australis sisters, though I may have called them the Southern Lights last time they popped up. The Platypus is there, as well as several uncostumed men and women that they're wearing masks that would conceal their identity, but are not really in costume. That seem to be hanging out close to the ensigns.
It pleases Landshark to no end that he is on stage with S.P.E.A.R. and Platypus is not.
I just like the fact that Landshark's got this grudge against the Platypus, and the Platypus is blissfully unaware of it.
He's really just jealous.
Just because he's another burrowing hero. One that proudly proclaims that he's a platypus. Also in attendance would be the European Union's official team that I referenced back in the first session and can't remember what I named them. I can't remember if it was, I don't think it was Eurostar, but it might have been Eurostar. At the time, they were not an official, they were in talks to potentially become the official team. And then you had that invasion from up out of the ground. And they basically defended Brussels during that. And there's probably a handful of other supers that I either haven't named or can't think of right at the moment.
So this is basically like one of those old George Perez panels.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, if I could just pick anybody in the world to draw this scene, it would probably be Perez. He's done this sort of thing in Avengers where just everybody's there. And of course, I think Crisis on Infinite Earths, I think he was drawing the big panel shots or the big kind of splash pages there. Eventually, Agent Tolliver steps up the microphone, kind of calls everybody to attention. The Primus goes up on stage and kind of takes a position with the S.P.E.A.R team.
Much to Unison's chagrin.
Yeah, I don't know what bothered Unison more. The Primus up there with them, or the way that every time his dad thinks he's looking in his direction, he gives him like a thumbs up.
The universe is ending. I'm willing to let my dad be weird.
You're doing great, Sonny.
But whatever's left of this place, I don't want the Primus taking.
Okay. So the EU team were called the Eurostars. Okay. So yeah, Tolliver is calling calling the meeting to order. He's going through. He's laying out. This is what we know. He goes over what happened to Dynaman for anybody that doesn't know. He reports on what happened to the Crucible, or that the Crucible had engaged one of these guys in a fight. Though the Crucible is a hero, the government's never been able to just contact him. They felt like it.
Which is weird because he has a phone number.
He doesn't answer if he doesn't know the number.
Well, like his people answer, because Wolfwitch has called him before, and the other people, the whatever people study with him, were like, "Yeah, we'll see if we can get him."
But he's only giving that out to people kind of in the magical community for the most part. I mean, granted, I wonder if the Primus would have the number. Because they were both active in World War II. But he talks about the Harbinger 1 showing up and, you know, by all appearances, just canceling out Dynaman's powers. As far as they know, he did not appear in Savannah, so I don't know how that fight went. However, he pulls up some like not webcam, cell phone footage that somebody took of the fight in Savannah. There was nobody around by the time it ended because there was a fair amount of collateral damage. But there's one good shot he freezes on of Harbinger 3. And anybody that's a member of the Haunted would think he looks awfully familiar, especially Everlast. Any of the S.P.E.A.R members that are paying attention to him, so probably Unison, at least one or two Unisons, you notice when the picture comes up that the Primus really kind of frowns up when he sees him. I mentioned that this Harbinger was using like an old-fashioned weapon. He is armed with a spear.
The Harspecs?
He is armored. He has a hood pulled up over his head. The person this would be reminding Everlast of would be the Reliquary.
Oh, okay.
Because remember, the Horror Sphinx wore armor, was in like a powered armor suit. This guy's got like scale mail or chainmail up under a cloak, you know, with a full hood.
We don't need to fight him again right now. Were Dynaman's powers permanently negated, or was that a temporary condition? Do we know?
Which one of your characters asked this question?
I'm gonna say toss up because
oh, that's right. I forgot you got two of them on stage.
He would be the most likely to ask.
It does not appear to have been permanent. For the next hour or so after they got him, to the hospital, they were able to work on him like normal, like you'd work on a normal person. After about that first hour, his skin started getting tougher and tougher until they couldn't get in there anymore. Luckily, they'd kind of gone in and set everything they needed by that point. But he has not regained consciousness yet. But he had massive concussion. There was brain, swelling, brain swelling that they had to relieve pressure on, all kinds of stuff. But,
so he took a real beating.
Well, he fell quite a distance and landed. The only thing that stopped him from being dead was the fact that he landed on top of a building as opposed to going down the next, 10 or 12 stories. They, of course, have no idea how he did this. Power dampening technology in this setting is notoriously finicky as to who it affects and doesn't affect, and no one's ever come up with anything that works universally. And while Dynaman has worked for the government over the past year or two, prior to that, he was very secretive, like all heroes were, because the government didn't officially sanction anybody. So, so S.P.E.A.R has no idea exactly how his powers work. They've never been able to examine him closely or anything. So they just know it's not, it's not like technology or machines he carries around with him. It's something, innate. But the fight between Dynaman and Harbinger 2. And don't worry, he'll get an actual name eventually. Began because the creature was landing and kind of interacting with people and freaking them out. Imagine, I don't have a good picture of him. Basically a hulking kind of humanoid form. Obviously reptilian, got kind of a crocodilian tail. Though his head is more kind of serpent shaped, with slitted eyes. Though they're not kind of smooth on the side, they kind of bug out somewhat. Got like a little sail or fin on top of his head. Did some stuff on his arms. And while you can see kind of scales up close, you can make out people can make out kind of scales on him. They're small enough that at a distance you don't really notice them. And its coloration is kind of, pinkish Caucasian person. Not a color you associate with reptiles generally. He has not huge fangs like a snake, but obvious fangs. Just to the average citizen on the streets of Seattle where this took place, pretty disturbing. And after the confrontation with Dynaman, he appears to have gone to ground somewhere. Nobody had spotted him since. Like I said, Dynaman was putting up a fight against this guy, decently well. Until the other one interfered. Would any of your other characters have questions for Agent Tolliver?
Jay will ask, do we have a plan?
I'm glad you asked. Kind of. Their plan, at this point, he calls out the mourner, who was kind of just standing over to one side, and he kind of steps out. He explains who the mourner is to everybody, This is a man that has observed this sort of a thing happen to other universes, and he's here helping us where we can. The mourner, and they're assembling all the great minds they can find. So, Tulsa would be involved there. Anybody else with a real science background, which I can't think of. Well, J303 would probably have been tapped. The little AI that runs the Mighty Task Force Cybernetic 5 has been tapped to help out. Several of your inventor types. They've even gone into like some of the jails and some of their super geniuses, villains that have been captured. They've got kind of working on these,
including the time traveler. Who was the person who's the dinosaur submariner?
Professor Paradox.
Yeah,
Dr. Paradox, something like that. Something Paradox. I don't remember. Did y'all capture him or did he get away?
I'd have to look back to my notes for that one. I thought we captured. Well, let me check.
You might have. He's probably
even if we captured him. Who's to say he didn't escape?
Yeah, he's a time traveler, so he's probably escaped. Professor Payne, that you caught down in Rhodes Ferry. He's one of the ones they've got working on it. Because he's a tech guy. His AI Susie Q is probably helping. She was loyal to him, but otherwise not a psycho.
Does it seem like they knew that Harbinger 3 was the reliquary?
Does Everlast bring this up?
She would, unless someone stops her. Unless there's some sense of unless this is like sensitive information, she would bring it up.
I don't think there'd be anything that would make her think it was sensitive. As soon as she drops Reliquary's name, the Primus kind of looks over at her like just surprised, like, oh. I was thinking the same thing. Tolliver went, Some of our people have noticed a similarity, and the reliquary was an enemy of the Crucible, but he hasn't been seen since World War II. So,
Well, we saw him. We saw him a lot more, like just recently.
Yeah, like
We-
did
we
you
just-
not? Yeah, Unison was up. Did you not read the report?
did the Haunted file a report? No, I'm sorry.
I think
forgot.
so.
I forgot that S.P.E.A.R had a very brief encounter with him. I'm sorry.
Oh,
That's right. I forgot the S.P.E.A.R guys had talked to him, but he was like, "Hey, I ain't here to cause no trouble," and split. And then where he was going off to cause trouble was where the Haunted ran into him.
yeah.
Yeah. What was it? What was it the Haunted did to him?
Collapsed him into another universe.
Or trapped him between universes, or something like that.
Oops.
Something cosmic.
Well, to be fair, it might not be y'all's fault because he popped up in a Icons one shot I was running for somebody else, and they also dumped him between universes. So I forget which appearance. In his canon, I forget which appearance is first, but
We're going to blame them.
Independence Ray would like to ask if we does Independence Ray know if we've already kind of like I don't want to say not questioned, like interrogated, but gotten whatever they could find out about the Harbingers from the Mourner, given that he's seen them in action before, like as far as like what their tactics are, like what their powers are, because he would want to. Ray would want to take advantage of that to try to figure out what wasn't done before, or how to counter what they were observed doing in battle in the previous Universal episodes.
the Harbingers, the universe he observed where there was no life, where the universe was in the process of heat death when they showed up, the Harbingers didn't really do anything. They just sort of scattered around, like they were looking for life, but there was nothing, They just wound up patiently waiting while the Masters went about their business.
Oh, so the previous universes were uninhabited? They weren't.
One of them was.
Okay.
The Mourner has seen this happen 3 times. One of those times, it was just the universe's natural end. The other 2 times, there was still some life when they entered. And the Harbingers set about destroying infrastructure, making sure the life couldn't fight back. Now, they were dealing with cultures much more advanced than Earth.
Oh. And still were able to dispatch it easily, it seems.
Well, not necessarily easily, but there's also a lot more Harbingers, but only so many can get through at a time until the barrier is sufficiently weakened.
Oh, okay.
The one that you have dubbed Harbinger 1 is sort of their leader. From information he's gathered, he believes that that this leader the Mourner starts referring to him as the Vasilevs.
Who?
Vasilev, I think is how you pronounce it. Which is like an old Greek word for like the Byzantine emperors. But anyway.
Okay.
But he believes he's the first one that found a way to survive serving these creatures. The other 2 that are currently active, the one in Seattle, the reptilian one in Seattle, is named Kroom. Kroom. And he was a sort of warlord, leading a small collection of star systems in one of the universes that Mourner has observed. And basically proved himself strong enough and impressed the Vasilev enough. Vasiles. I name them these things and then lose how to pronounce them. I've been listening to history podcasts. I hear that word like 2 or 3 times at least a night at work. Now I can't say it. But basically, he impressed this kind of cult leader. Was given the option of surviving, as one of the Harbingers. This spear wielder, he does not recognize. He has no clue who that is. At least not any more so than the rest of you.
No. Yeah, I think Everlast would probably say, "Well, that's because he's one of ours, one of the locals." The fresh recruit, as it were. I'm guessing.
And this is the first time the Mourner has seen something like that. He's never seen him recruit from a universe like prior to taking it.
It's entirely possible that he was put in a universe that was ending.
Potentially, or
because he did kind of pop out of ours.
Oh, okay.
Or if he
we don't know.
If he was dumped between universes, he might have been dumped into this kind of non-existent realm that these things dwell in. But
well, I mean, we were literally fighting him in an alternate dimension.
So we don't know that he's ours.
The Haunted was, anyway. We saw him in an alternate dimension.
Okay, so we don't actually know he's one of ours.
Well, no, we know he was one of ours in World War II, and then we know he somehow got put in an alternate dimension.
Yeah, because he was talking about trying to get home even then.
Yeah.
Mm.
So we know we were talking to our universe's version in another universe, so.
You don't suppose he's responsible for the rift that makes them think time is up for our universe?
The Mourner looks thoughtful. If he had the knowledge of how to travel between universes, perhaps. If he found some way, to pierce the barrier. He knows other dimensional travelers that do that. But for a mortal creature poking a large enough hole for themselves to get through, doesn't really weaken the barrier overall, because it'd be such a small little something and still back up. That the Quel-kik would probably never be aware of it. It'd be like you walking up to a curtain dividing a room and somebody has taken a pin and poked a hole in it. Well, you would never notice just walking by because it's so small in comparison to you. But if the Harbingers noticed, they might have been able to come through, with him, or he might have been able to create something wide enough to let a few of them through. Which brings, Tolliver speaks of this point. So that brings me around to, I guess, the first topic of business. We need to send somebody out. This hole in the barrier is somewhere outside the orbit of Pluto. The Mourner has given us the roughly the coordinates of it. We'll need to send somebody out there to check it out. We have a couple of shuttlecrafts that can make the journey. We could take this entire ship, but we kind of want to keep it in reserve because it does have some weaponry and stuff on it. And he just kind of asks who else out there is capable of traveling through space. Show of hands, who's got methods of getting around in space. The Primus raises his hand. The all three of the ensigns raise theirs.
J303 will raise the hand and just go, as a machine, I am capable of. Oh, wait, J303 stops us. Wait, is anyone here involved in what was the group's name that hates mutants and robots?
Mott.
Oh, that's right.
Mankind against aberrant terrestrials.
Uh,
Is there anyone here involved with that organization?
As you say that, the hero Mott crosses his arm and he's looking around like there better not be.
yeah, they've got.
Okay, so no one's involved in that. Nobody. No one's secretly an agent.
Those-
Okay, cool. I'm an AI. I can help.
So, are you looking for people who could like fly at like at light speed, or are you thinking about like people who could survive in space unaided, or all of
Both.
the above? Okay.
Doesn't have to be light speed, but a significant fraction so they can get out there quickly. Or anybody else that's got a ship, whatever.
Yes, Independence Ray might pull it off with a power stunt, but not reliably.
J303 looks at Landshark. Weren't you on the news with some alien hunter guy? Does he have a ship?
Muck Boots walking around?
Oh,
Is
Oh,
Muckwood
Muckboot's
here?
in there
Yeah.
too?
Yeah, I read
Yeah,
off
they're-
Muck Boots' name.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Muckboot will go. Yeah, I've got a ship that can hit light speed.
And everybody just sort of looks at Muck Boot in his, his kind of ratty hat and his old hunting outfit and his, the blunderbuss he's basically got strapped across it, or the musket that he's got strapped across
Yeah,
his back.
Muckboot will pull out the blunderbuss, and it will suddenly just start cubing out and forming into the advanced sci-fi rifle it is, as he pulls up and taps a few things. All right, the ship's on its way. He puts it back, and it turns back into the blunderbuss. He puts it on his back.
So where on earth did he keep his ship? Or
Out in the woods in the southern United States. It's kind of like how the Legion of Doom just have a base that's in a swamp underwater.
I know. I
It's
keep
just
wanting to say
kind of there.
deep in the Florida swamps.
So Lex Luthor is the ultimate Florida man, is what you're saying. If Muckboot's here, is Snapdragon here? Or is that
Snapdragon is
basically-
not.
Okay, I didn't. If I had my druthers, I would say no either, because But I was just curious.
Last anybody knows of Snapdragon, she was taking a cannibalistic Australian giant.
That's right.
Around.
on a safari.
Muckboot was. I thought Muckboot also went with her for that.
That's what I was asking.
Well,
It
he
must
stayed
be here.
behind to finish up the thing with
Oh, that's right. You.
the
I think you went.
politicians and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think you had intended to join me afterwards. So
Yeah,
I guess
since
you had-
Walkabout knew where it was and it's new things to hunt, Muckboot was kind of interested.
But you clearly made it back, whereas Snapdragon
Yeah.
has her wrath has gone elsewhere. I like that.
She's probably grounded.
It will come up next season. Actually, don't worry.
Okay.
That are getting married to Thards, though. Who knows?
So
Yeah,
anyway,
Muppet,
out of the
like-
woods of either the southern U.S. or the Appalachian Mountains, which do stretch down into the southern U.S., I think, but wherever it is, his ship comes up and takes off. It's not the only ship people have been seeing. The Starforgers have who have been in orbit and been negotiating with the United
Oh, that's
Nations.
right.
Just kind of suddenly tap their watches. Oh, look at the time. We got to be going. If you're still here in a year, we'll come back and keep talking. It's possible they were tapping communications and basically know what's going on.
I mean, they're in the universe too. They're just because Earth is first doesn't mean
Mm.
they're in just as much trouble.
But anyway, Tolliver's like, so, well, you got a ship that's great. We can load it up with equipment, scanning equipment and whatnot, and take it out there. And he takes a few volunteers from the space-worthy folks to either, escort or at least, if not fly escort, be on board in case there's, a harbinger out there keeping watch over the door or something. And Harbinger goes on to talk about or kind of continues talking about the way the two universes he saw that were actually invaded. They would set up a foothold on whatever the nearest world was to where they came out, which for our purposes would be Earth. and they would set up devices. They'd wreck infrastructure. They would cripple armies, and then they would set up devices that would call their masters to them. Without these, the Quel-kik flood into a universe and just sort of spread out in a haphazard fashion. They have no real concept of time, so they're not in a rush to do it. They're not worried about efficiency. But these cultists can set up machines that draw their attention, so they'll flood over the places containing life first, presumably to eliminate any, to the cultist point of view, to eliminate anything that could potentially fight back. As opposed to they just slowly started randomly doing things. You might have a civilization have enough time to study them to come up with something. That's all theory on the Mourner's part, though. He hasn't had very many long conversations with any of the Harbingers. So Mukboot's ship arrives. It's brought on board. How big is Mukboot's ship, Tyler?
It's sort of. It's not a fighter. It's not a carrier. It's kind of like almost yacht-esque, where like you could have 8 or 10 people on there comfortably.
Okay.
But it's more for just short. It's more for short trips than long ones. But a short trip when you can go above light speed is kind of ubiquitous in, or nebulous, I think is the word I'm looking for. But
so it's
you
like
could have.
I'm picturing a space Winnebago. There's enough space for several people to be in there comfortably.
Like in Spaceballs.
And you might drive cross country, so to speak, in it. But you wouldn't want to just live out of the thing all the time.
Right, like one person could without any trouble, but multiples, it gets kind of
Okay. But there's plenty of room, therefore, to load up the scientific equipment and carry some folk.
Yeah. It's designed for you to be able to carry large creatures. Because, you hunt a space elephant, you can put the whole body in there.
So it's got some storage space in addition to.
Yeah. Because it was custom built for the, intergalactic hunters.
It's kind of the standard model they use.
Yeah,
I'm
just
picturing laundering and dirty dishes.
Like, we haven't found a creature larger. We basically built the room large enough to hold the largest creature we know of, in parts.
We could squeeze a blue whale into this thing.
If you find one too big, just tell us, and we'll make it bigger.
So they load up Mukboot's ship.
And Mukboot will warn all if any humans do not stay in the decontamination/storage area too long, you are made of meat, and it is designed to preserve meat.
You're made of meat.
One guy's like, so you mean it'll make jerky out of us?
No, you just won't. Your cells will stop aging correctly.
Ooh. Oh. I got excited until I heard correctly.
I hate to tell you, the U.S. didn't exist last time I was on Earth.
A lot of people in the area, that gets their attention. It's like, huh? I mean, you look like you were one of the oldest guys in the room anyway.
Yeah, it takes a long exposure, but you will eventually just stop. I've been in my 60s for over 100 years. So don't stay in there too long.
The Primus is fighting the urge to walk over and ask him if he knew George Washington. But anyway, they load up. The White Ensign goes on board. A couple of the other masked people that came with the Australian contingent get on board. The platypus tries to get on board. And Walkabout's like, whoa, hey, mate. I'm not sure how equipped for space you are. Better to use you where your strengths would come into play. So he kind of talks him down. A couple members of the Eurostars do get on board as well. People with either energy forms or like force shield that can allow them to operate in space.
Would Independence Ray make the cut? Do you think?
Beg your pardon now?
Do you think would Independence Ray make the cut?
Does he have life support?
He does not.
In a pinch, they could probably give him a breath mask or a space helmet or something, but as far as just flat. Oh, there's a bad guy out there. Let me go step out the airlock.
Right. Yeah. Also, force foot would be a power stunt too, so I guess not quite.
Muckboot will sit for a moment. Your name's Microburst, right? Points to I believe you named it Hero Microburst.
Yes, weather controlling guy from the Midwest.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Are you what? Do you control weather or do you make weather?
Well, I'm actually an aerokinetic. I control air. If you want to be technical.
Meaning you can keep a pocket of breathable air in space. Traveling with a person.
As long as I... I can hold the air around me to breathe, yes. Once I've breathed it all, it's carbon dioxide, I wouldn't be able to breathe it anymore.
Yeah.
But
get as many O2 tanks as possible. If we need aerial combat in space, just suit these people up to take care of the temperature, and he can take care of the breathable space. So that way, if there's a suit puncture, people will still live long enough to get out.
On your ship or like on this ship? What is
get the O2 tanks ready, because we're going to try to close that hole, but if it opens up, we're going to have to fight them there.
Oh, he got you.
And having someone that can keep the atmosphere breathable for us out there is very important.
Tolliver, tells you, hey, this is, we're sending you on a scout mission. I mean, obviously, if you saw some easy way to shut it, then by all means shut it. But we're expecting you to go out and just scan it a bunch and then come back and let our eggheads go over the data.
Yeah. I'm just saying prep. This is prep work.
That makes sense.
I'm not saying bring the Hitman with us right now. It's just he is going to be advantageous once they start pouring out if we can't close it.
Let's see, what else would Mourner want to mention to you? Well, nothing for Muckboot's group. Y'all load up. As soon as the eggheads finish putting in the scanning equipment.
Landshark will try and get on board, but especially since Platypus wanted to be on. But I think Toss Up will probably stop him because he would really like to see this opening in person, not just read the data. So if they can hook him up with some kind of spacesuit, so he can get out of the ship if he needs to.
Oh yeah, there's several kind of human tech spacesuits on board S.P.E.A.R ship, as well as some of the alien suits that were kind of already equipped on it when the Unknowns took it. So yeah, Toss Up would have no trouble getting on board, basically going as the brain to be working the data or working the machine, the scanners. So they get together and take off.
Yeah, the brain is not going to be Landshark.
That's probably for the best. Bless his heart. But the Mourner starts going over. He brings up Kroom and the fact that Kroom can create foot soldiers for these cultists. he can turn living beings into not quite mindless, but they're definitely not who they were. And just kind of expendable grunt troops, which is how they were able to overwhelm some places.
What does he turn them into? Does he turn them into lizard creatures or just mind control?
They take on similar features to Kroom. It's like they're a cross between Kroom's species and whatever species they were. But they're not, they don't seem to have any free will or like ambition of their own.
And he's also the one that can temporarily remove powers too, isn't he?
No, that was the first guy y'all talked to.
Oh, the first one.
Okay, the shark guy.
Kroom was fighting Dynaman when the first guy showed up and kind of did this, just kind of a hand gesture, and Dynaman dropped.
Gotcha. It's like, oh, that'd make Kroom a real powerhouse. I mean, they're all tough anyway.
Oh yes, they're all tough. I'm sure. But let's see. Right. So Tolliver lets you know, Mourner finishes talking. Tolliver lets you know they do not currently know where any of the Harbingers are. They've got satellites in space keeping an eye out for, zeroing in on any fast-moving flying objects. Because it's Kroom and the Vasilef. I keep saying it; it keeps not sounding right. They've both been clocked at moving at very high travel speeds. The third one, the one they suspect may be the Reliquary, he's been seen flying, which is not something he used to do. But not at the high speeds the rest of these guys have been. He seems to have some other way of traveling.
I wonder if Jay and Wolfwitch could find them.
He would welcome any members of the Mystic community to try. That is one area S.P.E.A.R has no expertise in. Where a lot of superhumans are a little hesitant to deal with the government much, period. The magical community especially is kind of like, eh.
We know what you did.
Oh.
We haven't really had much luck with governments, ever. Any government.
Nope.
But there are quite a few mystic heroes in the hero community, so.
Yeah, Jay will ask Tolliver, "You're not going to deport me after this, are you?"
Wait. Are you in Lafayette illegally?
No.
How did this not come up in his dossier?
Busted.
Unison chirps up from the back. Because a superhero is legally identified as their superhero identity and not as their personal records. Ya dingus.
Yeah, but he runs his little art studio as Jay.
Then maybe I want this magical man to stay in this country.
Fair point. We'll get the paperwork sorted out. Don't worry about it. Yes, by all means, let's kick the most powerful magic user on the planet out of the country. Let's let some other country have access to him. Sure.
Right.
So what they're planning to do right now is put people out in groups. They're trying to get enough heroes that they can have somebody in every major city. the real heavy hitters might patrol the city by themselves. Where other places like Lafayette has got the Misfits. They've got a team there already.
Here's a question.
Mhm.
When you say major cities, are they thinking strictly U.S. or is this a full international effort? Given that we've got heroes from everywhere here.
Well, S.P.E.A.R's primary concern is the United States and to some degree its allies.
Because that's where it has both authority and resources.
Right.
It's where it can do things.
Right. They have alerted the Chinese and the Russians to what's going on. In both instances, they've been told, those countries have told S.P.E.A.R, we will handle our response.
Everlast would make a point to ask about the nations that don't have their own heroes to.
There really isn't anywhere that doesn't have any superpowered people.
Okay.
But there are plenty of places where maybe the political regimes were always a lot rougher on supers than others. So you may not have really organized teams per se. Or even in the face of this, the government doesn't want to deal with them or something.
Interesting.
But, England is on board with the U.S. They've got their own team here.
Sure.
Eurostar, of course, is here representing, the European Union. Australia does not have a government team. But a big chunk of their recognizable heroes have shown up. And some of their unrecognizable heroes, because you don't know who some of these people are. Though some of the uncostumed people do load up with Mud Boot.
I feel like Everlast would be kind of like conscious of that whole more global viewpoint, and if there's if she feels that there's a need for her to, go elsewhere to help defend the planet, she might actually, she'll be highly tempted to do that. But I'll leave that up to your discretion as far as what you've got planned and envisioned for the finale. But that is something that's on her mind, for the record.
Well, and the plan is that, there's only 3 of these guys, so if one pops up, they plan on, mobbing him with as many people as they can get there as quickly as they can get there.
Yeah, they'll show up in the States. I guess that solves her question, right?
Walkabout, for instance, they're tapping him to kind of act as the, fast deployment. They plan on trying to keep, 4 or 5 people up here in orbit at all times that he can, Walkabout can rush them down wherever they need to be. And then let them hold the fort while he goes and fetches other folk. But he does ask for a team of volunteers to go down to Seattle and see if they're concerned that this Kroom guy may still be somewhere in the city. It's been a few days. Maybe he was having to rest and heal up from injuries.
Patience will volunteer.
What do I actually have here?
He doesn't seem to completely know how to react to the little girl going, "I'll go." By the same token, Tolliver has got some mental powers, so he kind of recognizes maybe some of what Patience does. Or kind of, there's a vibe there.
Patience will go ahead and state, I can see farther than other people in a way that sees through buildings. I can see I can see living objects. He's shaped different than people. He will most likely shine different than other people. I can probably see him.
I was like, that sounds useful. And he looks at Frost. You're her guardian. Is it okay if she goes down there? Oh,
unfortunately, Frost Giant's not here.
I completely forgot that Zach's not here. That's terrible. But I'm used to him not being on camera, so nobody tell him I did that.
Okay.
Zach, don't watch this video.
So yeah, he would look over at Frost Giant.
Yes, I'm okay with her going.
So
Right out a permission slip.
essentially, I need each of you to have a character volunteer. Taylor's, of course, just did, but
Yeah.
it doesn't
Um,
matter if it's one that usually works with patients. It can just be anybody that thinks they'd be useful in this fight.
Jay will go. He thinks he might be able to help spot Harbinger 2 also. And Landshark's kind of wanting to go after Harbinger 1 if we get a lead on him, since he's shark-like.
I feel like Independence Ray would probably want to be part of the coordinating infrastructure with his military expertise. For the Seattle mission, I guess the easiest thing would be to sign up Serpent Boy, since Frost Giants and Patients are going. And you're sending the Bruja, is that right, Curtis?
St. Moon.
Yeah, St. Moon.
All right, so we've got St. Moon, Patience, and Serpent Boy. It's going to be an interesting team.
Whippet's not here, is she?
I think Whippet was in the. I think I had her in my list. I don't remember if I actually said her name or not. I might have accidentally skipped over.
I mean, she could easily just be one of the miscellaneous heroes, right?
Yeah, well, she should be there. Her sister, truthfully, should be there.
And the mom.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Like I said,
family.
I can't remember who everybody's name was from all the various heroes that we just kind of mentioned in passing or as part of somebody's background.
Sure.
Brian's hero should be here,
but they're doing stuff.
Yeah.
Patience will look at Bruja. We'll look at Jay real quick. Who's the other one? And she kind of points in the air above him.
Just eye the shoes. Please look to the shoes.
How does St. Moon react? I think you're muted.
Oh, she's a pain in my ass. He's like, oh, I'm not supposed to talk like that to kids. She's not really alive.
Oh, it's a ghost.
Has Patience ever run into ghosts before?
Not fully formed. Like, she's seen wisps, kind of like color, like wisp of color, and not known what it was. After learning what ghosts are, she assumes they're ghosts, but she's never seen something fully formed, like something that actually looks like it's just another person there.
Yeah. To her, I guess.
It's been like, oh, it looks like the remnants of a person, but
She's family that likes to stick around.
Okay.
The ultimate guests who overstay their welcome.
All right, so they get roused about to run you down, and other heroes are dividing out into, where they're going to go. But Tolliver asks Walkabout if you'll run them down to Seattle. There it is. I was afraid I had deleted my Seattle map. All right, so he drops you off in Seattle. Let's see, where would be a good... I guess he drops y'all off in Madison Park. There's a nice wide open spot he could land in. So he lands, he kind of wishes y'all well, and then heads back up. let's see. None of y'all have ever been into the dream time. Saint Moon has probably done some mystical traveling, so it may not be anything too shocking for him.
It'd still be different.
Yeah. Serpent Boy, it's different for. And as you're coming down for orbit, you see great serpents rising up out of the ocean, or having risen out of the ocean.
Yeah, I've been wondering what happened to Serpent Boy during that episode with the Manoro, like when all the serpents of various
He would
mythologies
have
were
felt
risen.
something, but not known what it was.
Okay, so he didn't
It was
he didn't Hulk out, as it were, unexpectedly.
no. Let's see. It was daytime in Australia when that happened, so it would probably been night in Boston.
Also, it could have been
So
somebody
he'd
just
have
thought it
come
was
up out of
a
bed.
dream.
He'd have basically jerked up out of bed with maybe some kind of almost dreamlike memories of something. But as you're traveling down for orbit, you can still see those great serpents, having risen up. They haven't laid back down yet. One down around South America, one around Australia.
So there's been residual.
One up in the Northern Sea.
Oh wow. Okay. So I'm sorry. Where'd you say they were? So there's one in the Northern Sea.
One down around
in
South America.
South America.
And then
And where's
the rainbow serpent or rainbow snake over by Australia is still there.
So they haven't all gone totally back to sleep since the.
They are gazing skyward.
Interesting.
The one in the north is not as solid looking. It's kind of like it's fading in and out.
That wouldn't have to be Mom, would it?
Serpent Boy feels something when he looks at it.
Vaguely familiar.
A sort of nostalgic longing.
He's
a teenager. He might not have the words really to put out there for exactly what he's feeling. But.
Yeah, I mean, I probably never. I mean, certainly, I've never seen my mother except in like comic books and movies, right?
Mm.
Wow. Oh yeah, that'll be weird.
And then the next thing you know, you're zooming down at high speed to the ground just to pull up slightly and kind of run along the ground before you all pop back out into the modern world. And like everybody else that travels through the dream time, as you approach the ground level, you're seeing kind of all time periods at one time. You see Native Americans in the area, kind of overlaid by the modern city, overlaid by the turn of the century city, or whatever Seattle was.
But not the future.
You see when like mammoths were roaming around. You see when dinosaurs were roaming around.
That's a good question.
You see the sea level at several different heights.
Yeah, like as Curtis asks, do we see the future, or does it stop? Do the multiple layover visions stop at the present?
They seem to stop at the present. Okay. It's like it doesn't go past where you're at.
Almost like reality's about to end soon.
Yeah, Jay will ask Walkabout, is it normal not to see the future, or are we just not seeing the future because the world's about to end?
He goes, that's a really good question. I've always been told that our minds just hide the future from us because on some level we don't really want to know. But, that was my Gramps talking. But I got to imagine if my people could have seen what was coming when the first of you folks showed up on the continent, things might have gone differently. That's just me guessing, though. And then he takes back off. All right, so the three of you are in Seattle. How are you going to track this guy down?
Where did the fight take place? Did that the fight with Dynaman take place in Seattle? It did, didn't it?
Yes. It was in Seattle over here by on Elliott Bay in this like really kind of packed section.
Does that seem like a place to start?
I believe that's
Patience
the really downtown section, I think.
is now going to use her most powerful power. Detection 7.
Little puppy dog eyes. Oh, detection 7.
Detection 7.
What does she detect?
Souls.
There's a lot of souls in Seattle. A whole lot of souls in Seattle.
She's going to start using it actively to look for, the aggressive colors that she knows.
All right.
Granted, let me read up on detection to make sure that this is a thing that is within the realm of what I'm actually wanting to do with it.
All right. You have the ability to detect a specific form of energy or power or presence with awareness equal to your detection level. Select one of the detections from the following list or roll 2d6. Spirit is one of the lists. So you would pick up ghosts and astral forms. And we've always let it operate as her sight, and she can always, she's always been able to roll, awareness checks for, awareness, what was it called?
Yeah, I've been kind of using it as a form of like visible emotion.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, awareness is what this stat's called.
But yeah, I'm just kind of detecting for something that's specifically not the normal kind of person feeling I can detect.
All right, give me a roll because you're essentially looking for something non-human because you have seen non-human stuff before. The partially deific tend to show up a little differently. So you're really hoping this guy does too. Let me set a difficulty here. 8 is the number to beat.
All right, so I have to make a custom roll for this real quick. It is the D6. It's going to be +7 for my detection, correct?
And that's the rank of your detection, yes.
All right, and I will use a determination point.
Okay, that gives you a +2.
Yep. I'll be using. I'll be using "In God We Trust" because I know the world isn't supposed to end this way.
Fair. I imagine she gets down and says one of the little prayers like the nun taught her to.
Yeah. And I rolled a 1, so the pluses were important. The +2 is important.
I'm using God we trust because the world ain't supposed to end this way. And God goes, actually, it kind of is.
Oops.
Actually, though, with the pluses, yeah, it didn't really matter what you rolled. I should probably jack that difficulty up higher. So you start looking around. Do you get up on top of a building before you do this so you have a better angle? Are you going to have somebody, are you going to be like driving, get an Uber and be driving around the town looking around? You have somebody flying you?
I would want to be higher up. Serpent Boy could stretch me to the top of a building and kind of maneuver me around pretty easily.
Sure.
I'm just picturing, I'm suddenly picturing Serpent Boy just grabbing her by the waist and then just stretching us high up as he can.
Well, he circles the arms so that it's a harness and it holds me. And then, yeah, it would just kind of be like
really up
Just
high,
kinda-
and then just sort of rotates like a satellite, like a radar station.
Yeah.
I bet it basically become like gigantic rabbit ears for like a Spirit television.
Start rotating like one of those Doppler radars.
I'm just sitting there going, "Wow." Up in the sky.
Saint Moon just sees this kid pick up the other kid and then stretch himself like gum.
I know Frost Giant's here, but he'll whisper over to him, I thought my family was strange.
No, Frost Giant didn't come with you. He gave permission.
Or he
for
gave
Patience to go.
permission.
Oh.
And she's got Serpent Boy to watch after. It'll be fine. It's a superhero
She,
setting, so letting your little kids go out to fight crime is not considered bad parenting like it would be in a
Right. Actually, Serpent Boy, he digs that. He did because that Frost Giant trusts him to go without him.
Really, Frost Giant just figured, there's no way that guy's still in Seattle. This would be a safe place to put the kids.
Right.
Wait, so does this make Jay the adult?
Yes.
Sure does.
No, the joke's on you. Patience is always the adult. She is always the 7-year-old adult.
There's a few strange souls in Seattle, which probably comes as a shock to no one. And Serpent Boy and Frost Giant and kind of their origin, so there are other people on the planet than just humans. A lot of them, their souls don't look all that different. But you spot a few oddballs here and there.
Yeah, I'll mentally communicate to both Jay and Serpent Boy their locations, which admittedly will look weird in their minds, but they'll hopefully be able to make out the information.
But and some of them you can kind of limit. Okay, I'm seeing something over there that's clearly a winged figure. All right, that ain't what we're looking for. It's weird. That ain't what we're looking for.
That guy's got horns on his head. Oh well, none of my business ain't gonna ruin my day.
But over here at Yarrow Point, there's something just a little ways out in the water that catches your attention. It's very bright. It's brighter than a normal person, but it's not quite as bright as John Mody's son or Mjolda's Hell Daughter were. Because they were part divine and really glow brightly in your sight. This is not as bright as them, but brighter than normal. Whoever it is kind of curled up on themselves a little bit. So, like, if you're looking for specifically for a tail, you can't really tell at this distance.
But it's as good a lead as any.
Yes.
Right.
And it's out in the water, which is weird. I mean, most people don't curl up out in the water.
Then, yep, go ahead and throw down a force field on each teammate.
Boop, boop, boop.
And then we can head out.
All right, how are y'all traveling?
Do either of you have the power to move fast?
Not so much, unless I stunted myself into a giant airplane that y'all, a giant glider that y'all ride.
Jay says, I can move us all fast, but we just end up teleporting over the water.
There's a little park area there at Euro Point. So you could teleport to the shore if you wanted to.
I can teleport us there. He keeps a painting rolled up in his satchel of a Wile E. Coyote train tunnel. He can, stick it on a wall and turn it into a portal.
All right. Do you have that power stunt permanently, or is that something you're going to have to burn?
No, that's just for the ritual.
Oh, that's right.
Using
You would
art
just
as a
cast your
ritual.
magic.
Yeah.
Normally a kid her age would love that, but she doesn't know much about the Looney Tunes. So I assume y'all just find a brick wall somewhere and put that painting up, and then start your little ritual.
Yeah.
All right, give me a roll for your magic.
Let's see. I don't have to. Don't have to put magic level at too high to teleport that far. So I'm going to do it at a 5. I think that ought to be sufficient.
I would think so.
So
Because 5 is what, a few miles?
Yeah, I
Where's
think
the
so.
benchmark? Let's see, 5 distance, 10 or 20 blocks. 6 would be a few miles. 6 would probably get you there easily.
Okay, yeah, we'll do 6 then.
So the difficulty is 6 plus a d6. So 11 is the number to beat.
What do I need to roll? Dang it, that's not what you wanted.
No, that is not what you needed to roll. It'd be, what was it?
Add my
So your magic rank +1 for your occult knowledge, or however many ranks you got in occult.
Yeah. Do I add willpower or not?
No. If you're rolling, if you're rolling your power rank, you would just roll your power rank, and then if you have the occult skill, that would go into it.
Yeah. Well, I got an 8. I hope that's good enough.
You need to beat an 11 because I rolled a 5.
Ooh.
So the portal opens, you step through, but you land in the water right about here. It's knee deep, just enough that your boots fill up.
Jail laughs like, it's a good thing we left Poppy Shark at home.
And you just kind of slosh out. But you're eventually able to make your way over to Yarrow Point. Flag down a taxi, call a Uber, just walk, however you get there. Like I said, it's a little park area. There's quite a few people. Everybody's kind of sitting down. At a distance, it looks like you've got a bunch of picnickers. Patients, of course, see all these little, groups of souls out there, whatever, sitting around. The other two of you, give me awareness rolls. All right, 5 is the number to beat.
Sakai succeeded
Yep.
with a major success.
And Curtis? All right, Curtis also beats it with a major success. But you notice all these people that are sitting around in the park, kind of spaced out. Like I said, it looks like almost look like a picnickers. Except nobody's got any food. Nobody's sitting on any blankets. As you get a little bit closer, you realize nobody seems to be talking to each other. Everybody's just kind of sitting there staring out across the water. You get a little bit
And
closer than that, and you start noticing people have got like scaly patches on their skin. Truthfully, not a whole lot unlike Servant Boy, but I want to say he's always been described as having little patchy scales here and there.
that's just acne.
This is not good.
What is
And
that?
the power signature was in the water, right? Or underwater.
Yeah, the really bright soul she sees is still out in the water.
Maybe Kroom's probably watching us through his minions. You think?
Are we supposed to message Tolliver back and say, yes, we found Kroom?
When you know for sure that you found him, yes.
Yeah, maybe once we establish visual sight. Although this is certainly a pretty strong indication.
Yeah.
But I could just
call somebody. We have people with staring out over the ocean with scales. That's the
well, technically they're staring out into what's called Lake Washington.
I'm gonna call it.
Yeah, I understand you don't want to get in trouble. This is the time to get in trouble and be wrong, but be safe.
I was about Superboy's about to stick his head and stretch it out to get visual sighting, but maybe he'll delay that for the moment, given that we're just it's the odds of it not being Kroom are pretty slight, right?
So before you departed, all the heroes were given communicators that are patched into a network. S.P.E.A.R runs through the orbital station or orbital ship. So you get on there, or you signal it. You hear Tolliver come over the line. What have you got for me, St. Moon?
We have found our target.
You made visual contact.
El Reptil is sleeping in the water, and we've got some of his. I don't know, what were we calling them? Zombies, servants,
Proxies.
proxies.
That's nice and neutral.
Tolliver's like, I was thinking troops, but So you're saying you see some of the things that Mourner warned us he could make.
We've either found our target, or we're in the middle of Woodstock after the brown acid has been passed out.
It's a moment of silence as Tolliver tries to figure out what you mean by that. He's always been very straight-laced, so So they're sitting around in drum circles? What?
If we're FaceTiming, I'll
Yeah, I guess the computers would probably, or the communicators would probably have something like that. So they just seem to be spaced out. Where's the primary target? I don't see Kroom in what you're showing me.
He's underwater.
Oh, right. You said in the water. I figured he was standing in the water. Oh, all right. If you do so relatively safely, try to actually get eyes on him. I am scrambling some forces to back you up.
Okay, now Serpent Boy goes ahead and stretches his face underwater to give it a peep.
You stretch down. Patience. You see Serpent Boy's head pass over where this soul is without stopping.
Oh.
You get the impression that he didn't notice him.
Yeah, I'll tell him and give him, a little more cohesive direction.
Little further back, little to the left.
Might be a good time to note that I don't have dark, even though I'm aquatic. I don't, even though I can breathe underwater, I don't have like appropriate vision to be able to see underwater.
Well, you would know a sea creature only need, you know, quote unquote dark vision if they live really, really deep.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, clean water, you can see through quite a ways.
But so you pull
With
back, and you notice a kind of a lump, you know, on the lake bed,
ah,
and then two
I see
eyes open up out
something.
of the lump, and he had gotten down and kind of half burrowed up under it, and he kind of stretches and stands up, and he's looking up at you. Well, looking up at your head.
It's Krum, all right.
Uh,
And he's awake. Oh, he's awake.
does Serpent Boy have kind of the reptile slitted eyes like a snake?
I'm gonna say, yeah, yeah. I think that's right.
That's the best picture I've got of him.
Oh, you know,
Yeah,
I'll resend the cartoon I found that is like in my eyes totally Norman Gander. I posted it on the forum, but I'll resend it to you so that you can make a little icon of it because it makes me very happy. It's like so Norman. It's basically like a nerdy reptile boy with glasses, and the cartoon's even about D&D, so it's like absolutely Serpent Boy. But I like that. That's a good. That might be like a grown up Serpent Boy in the future. Like if we could see the future, that's probably what he would look like, all buff and cool.
All right, all right. All right. So he sees you. You see him. Just for fun, let's roll initiative. I'm not saying things are about to get terribly violent.
I am max rolled initiative. As this is closer to combat than patience has ever desired to be.
All right. Let me pull up the turn order. Throw all you guys down there. All right, there's patience. There's Serpent Boy. We'll get him a better token soon. Let's see, it's Dojo Loach. Saint Moon. I thought I had a circular one for Saint Moon. Did I ever? Ah, there he is. I guess I just never put it on the character sheet. That's controlled by Curtis. And the rest of that was attached to your character sheet, so that should be good. All right. Not that we really need them on the map, per se. This is just so I can get them on the initiative fine. And then I'll use Black Dragon's miniature to represent the mutated folk. So let me add everybody a turn. Alright, Serpent Boy got a 10. That's pretty good. Patience got an 8. Saint Moon got a 6.
Yeah, he didn't do so well.
Kroon. This is coordination, so that's plus. He got a 12. And then his random followers. And I'm just, of course, just rolling the followers all as one group. And the followers got a seats. Ascending order. All right, so top of the order is Kroom. And he is responding. Oh, and I described his physical appearance. He's also wearing like little green trunks with like a red studded belt. Which, if he's semi-aquatic, as this seems to indicate, probably makes sense. He doesn't wear a whole lot. Let's see. He's gonna fly up out of the water, punching Serpent Boy in the face as he flies by.
Ouch.
He not nice people. All right, his prowess is 6 plus his martial arts. All right, so he's taking a swing at you. You can dodge with your prowess.
Oh, I will not dodge it.
So he beat you by
Or you beat it.
4.
Oh boy.
Which is a massive success, I believe. Let's see.
Yes. Possible.
No, it's only a major. It's only a major. It's got to be 5 or more for a massive.
Okay. But he could still, he could still knock me back, and it would be kind of funny to see him like, what my stretchable neck and head back like 50 feet, like out of the water, like a metronome.
Well, your body, if I understood what you were doing, your body is still standing next to Saint Moon and Patience, and it was just your neck that zipped out across the beach amongst all these changed people and out into the water.
That's right.
All right, so you take 8 points of damage.
Oh boy,
So Serpent Boy, I think, has some resistance, doesn't he?
Nope.
I thought the elasticity gave you some.
Does that come naturally? Because I don't.
Let me check and make sure.
Now, you do have 4 points of force field on you.
Oh, thank you.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking. Maybe I was remembering other attacks or other combats where he's had that on him.
That's a big old wallop that my ears are ringing, I imagine. But let me look that up. Where's my account?
Yeah, there we go. Stretching. Take tests for extreme distances.
Oh, there you are.
Okay, damage resistance is one of the suggested extras. It's not a base part of the ability.
Okay.
All right. So how much of a force shield does he have on him due to Patience?
4 points.
So I still have 6 stamina. I can take 1.5 more of those hits.
No.
Thanks to Patience.
He did 8 points, so Patience's shield knocked off 4, but then he only took 4.
Yep.
The massive success still means you have to roll against a slam.
Yes.
Which is...
And that's just, I'm just rolling my, what am I rolling for that? Is that a strength thing?
It's a strength versus strength.
I rolled another 8.
He rolled a 9.
So does my head come flying out of the water?
So that's a moderate success on the slam. knocks the target prone. So what happens is your head and neck just go arcing up out of the water. What the rest of the party sees is you've stretched out, and then suddenly it's just a big sploosh, and your head kind of arcs up and back and behind, and keeps stretching, and then suddenly snaps back to your shoulders, knocking you down completely. You can immediately get up the next round, but it counts as your movement. But you can still get up and throw like a long distance punch or something if you wanted to, or that kind of jazz. Following his head up out of the water, Kroon kind of flies up and then floats down over the beach. All of his followers start turning and looking at you, like they've just become aware of you. He says something in this hissy, maybe it's a language. Patience and Jay only hear it as kind of hissing. Serpent Boy, you can't make out individual words, but you kind of get the gist of get them. It's like you could almost pick a meaning out of it on some kind of instinctive level.
What's the gist?
Get them. Or destroy them, or something like that. It's kind of like how, even if you don't speak German, if someone starts swearing at you in German, you're pretty sure they're swearing at you.
Right.
Where everybody else, it's just random hissing, and they can't pick anything. You're at least picking kind of the emotional content out of it.
To be fair, if someone says "God bless you" in German, it still sounds like they're swearing at you.
That's true. That's probably true. And next up is Serpent Boy.
All right. Well, I will. Yeah. Oh, with a probably a bit of an aching jaw, he will remark that he's like Kroon's rallying his troops now. And let's see, what does he do? You know what? I think this might be a time to bust out a breath of not so fresh air to see if I can knock out some of these people without, so that they don't get themselves hurt.
I also have a plan to stun those people.
Well, I can't. I imagine I won't be able to burst everyone without getting you all in the way. So hopefully we'll see what we can do for crowd control, I guess, and then see if I burn out as well.
All right. So you're trying to burst a section of them that won't get your allies.
Yeah. I mean, we are surrounded, right? So there's plenty to go around, I imagine.
Well, y'all had gotten to the edge of the park when y'all saw all this, and then you had stretched your head out past the rest of them.
Okay.
So there's a field of these people in front of you, and then Kroon right there on the beach.
Okay. I'll see if I can. I'll go ahead and Hakalugi, as it were, and see if I can knock some people out. Now, since it's a burst attack, do I just roll for effect, or do I still need to roll to hit? I forget how we manage that.
I believe it just covers the area. Let's see. And you're using the affliction power.
That's right. Which I roll with strength for.
Let's see. Extras burst. Your power can affect everyone within close distance simultaneously. Of course, the way you can stretch your neck out, close distance can be a ways away from your buddies.
Right, but I can only. But if I was merely stretching my neck out without the extra burst, I would just be affecting one person who might be far away, but still just one person. as opposed to the burst extra. I can affect a group of people if they're right.
Well, I'm just saying your power affects everyone within close distance, but you can stretch your head out where it's not in close distance to the rest of your body, which is what the guys are next to.
That's true. Ground zero could be like
yeah.
Ground zero could be anywhere within range.
Roll 1 test for the power. The different opposing abilities of the targets provide different difficulties.
Okay. What's the?
You said with affliction, you were rolling your strength.
Yes. If I'm just going straight to the effect, yes. So here we go.
Hang on. What does it say you have to roll for affliction?
I believe it's. I have it configured as strength in my character sheet, so as long as I got it right when I set that up, that should be it. Let's confirm that. Yes, it's the. I roll. Oh wait, I make a prowess test to touch the target.
And an affliction test against the higher rank of the strength or regeneration levels.
Okay, I think I have it set at 6 simply because my strength is also a 6. But
okay.
I think
maybe we were doing it where we were just rolling that as opposed to rolling the.
Yeah, I'll change that to just basically. I'll change that so there's no key attribute, but the modifier is 6 for the power. But if you want me to stick to that roll, the roll I just made,
we'll keep the 12 and they'll just resist with that.
Cool.
I'm going to say that you managed to get 5 that were clustered close together.
All right, that's a start.
So let me roll.
And then
let's see, and they resist with their strength. One, 2, 3, 4. And you got all of them.
Phew.
Now, to varying degrees, what does affliction do? Disease or toxin. Choose whether your affliction causes the targets to reduce to 0 stamina to remain conscious, like a major stun outcome, or losing strength levels. I think we had said your breath was non-lethal, correct?
That's right, yeah, because I'm still growing into my abilities.
Okay, so it functions like a stun. So when a major success, there's no effect on a failure or marginal. On a moderate, they're basically stunned for 1 round. A major, they're stunned for as many rounds as you have levels in the power. And a massive, they're out for the chapter. All right, so the fella that rolled a 7, he's out. He is completely out. So first, let me mark down the first 5. So 1 is out. The one that rolled an 8 is also out. So that's 2 of them out. The one that rolled an 11 is out for 1 round. One rolled a 10. That one's out for 1 round as well. If they're kind of coughing and shaking it off. And then another one rolled a 7, so that one's also out. So 3 out of those 5 are out. And there's like 15 of these people total.
Hopefully no one's allergic to serpent breath or whatever.
Man, imagine if we found out that some people were allergic to his breath.
Yeah, like
his future superhero costume involves, a bandolier of like EpiPens. Oops, this one's swirling up. All right, there we go. That'd be a very expensive career.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that was Serpent Boy. Patience, your turn.
Patience realizes that she is way too close to the danger. But can't really do anything about it, so...
We aren't surrounded. She could back up.
Well, yeah, she's gonna try to, like, kind of get to a place where the big bad cannot see her. And she will go ahead and do a rangeless heal on Serpent Boy for 5 points.
Okay. So he only took 4, so that gets him back up to full.
Yeah. And you've got 3 more turns before I have to renew your force field on both Jay and Serpent Boy. It's the same power, but it'll only last 4 turns before I've got to renew it, so we're down to 3 now.
Okay.
But that should put Serpent Boy back at full health.
Yes, he is back to full. All right. So now it is St. Moon's turn. Man, all y'all get to go first. Well, other than crew going first. I forgot about it.
And JL say, kids, this will either be really cool or it'll get me killed. And I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Jay's going to do, for ritual, it's going to be a song. He wants to stun all of the, what were we calling them?
I don't know, minions, troops, whatever.
Minions, troops. The idea is to stun them, but it's going to be audio. So my question is, am I going to stun Patience and Serpent Boy if they hear his song?
Burst covers an area. If you want to run over to one side or dive into the midst of them, I would say you're far enough away from Patience because she fell back and got behind a bench or
Right.
hit behind a trash can or something.
Yeah, I can run in the middle of them.
But yeah, you'd have to get some distance, and maybe wave where Serpent Boy has stretched his head out and breath weapon some of them, make sure his head is snapped back to his body.
Right.
Is that the mini you want for your new? Is that the picture you want for your new mini of Serpent Boy?
Get the left one. Oh, absolutely, that's perfect. I love that cartoon so much.
All right, that should be controllable by you now.
Sure is.
And get rid of that one. Put you in at 10. All right, should we get to go? All right, so St. Moon runs out into amongst the 10 or 12 remaining guys.
And basically, what I'm going to do is the Icons version of, I don't know, what is it? Tasha's Uncontrollable Dancing or something like that.
She has one that's hideous laughter.
Yeah, but there was an Uncontrollable Dancing. And what he's going to do, there's a song called Cha Cha Bitch. And he's going to, I'm sorry, this is something I've wanted to do with Jay forever. It'll be like, everybody let me hear you clap your hands like this. I'm going to show you how to cha-cha like this. 1, 3, 5, 6, cha-cha, bitch. Aye. And it just goes on. It's a Latin dance party song, or a dance party song with a Latin beat. And so I'm going to do it at power 9.
All right.
And I guess I've got to do the ritual, so I'm going to be a turn.
So you're out there for a turn, trying to get them to dance.
Trying to get them to dance, yeah.
All right. And you said power-wise, this was basically going to be stun?
Yes. It's
Alright.
stunned with the cosmetic effect that they dance.
Right. They're not knocked out for a round or 2 rounds or whatever. They're dancing for that long.
Right.
Not the first dancing related fight we've had.
No, but it makes me regret having never brought El Flamenco back. Maybe next season. Oh, it was the funniest thing that we had in the first season. And I didn't realize the recording had messed up, and we didn't get the sound for that half of the
Oh,
intro.
no.
Oh, it was awful. All right.
But I just always thought that would be something funny to do with Jay. If it didn't get him killed.
Chances are it will.
On the bright side, at least, post adventure, he may get awarded a Darwin Award if it gets him killed. Well, this would be super ran out amongst the bad guys that just started singing and dancing for 10 seconds while they just pounded on him.
Yeah, that raises a good point. Darwin Awards must be wild in a superhero universe. Or would they be less common because half the time stuff that will get you killed just gives you superpowers instead?
They are probably more forgiving. It's like, oh, well, that person was trying to do something magical and died. Like, there was an attempt to do something smart, but it took too long.
Right.
Or, like, you just have to play the guessing game of, like, we think he was trying to do something smart. We just can't tell.
Not like the military cadet, a buddy of mine, another game was talking about last night. That put on early in his training, put on a flak jacket and basically dared somebody to stab him.
Oh.
Spoiler, flak jackets don't stop knives.
Right. Oh, no.
It was like the class before my buddy showed up. He goes, yeah, we had to do extra push-ups for that guy. But I think he got at least an honorable mention in the Darwin Award too. All right, so Jay has run amongst there, and that will go off. He'll spend this turn doing it. Next turn, it'll go off.
Right.
And then it's all the minions he just ran out amongst. All right, so there are 15 total.
Oh dear God.
There are 10.
Are
you counting you're counting the people who are?
I'm counting everybody.
Okay.
3 of them are knocked out. So that drops us down to 12. Jay, the ones kind of in the middle around Jay has of course gotten their attention. The ones that were fairly close to Serpent Boy, though, are focusing on Serpent Boy. So, like, the 2 he breathed on that aren't, they're not down, but they are out this round, so they don't get to do anything. So that's 2 more that don't get to do anything this round. Then I've got 4 here that are fairly close to Serpent Boy, kind of the next closest group to him, that I will affectionately name them 6, 7, 8, 9. And they are beelining for Serpent Boy.
Okay.
He got their attention. The crazy guy that ran past him and is dancing back behind him haven't really gotten their attention.
Should I roll evade once for all of them or for each individual attack?
I'll let you do it either way you want to. You just have to decide before you start rolling.
Okay. Well, they have. Let me. I guess I'll let them roll first to hit.
All right. So their prowess. Their prowess is a little bit better than their coordination. That's good. Ooh, that guy rolled max.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that guy
Let's
rolled
hope they
low.
didn't get it.
That guy rolled max. That guy rolled max.
Damn.
Roll20 is after you.
Yeah, I think I'll just for simplicity's sake, I'll just roll once. So
right.
either I do really well, or I'll just take a brutal beating, which probably how these things would work anyway. Evade. Yep, brutal beating.
Well, you only take half damage from one of them.
And I've still got the shield up. correct?
Wait, they're regular humans, right?
They're partially mutated out. When they
I'm
turned
sure.
around, they've got the reptile slitted eyes like a
Hmm.
well, like Servant Boy, but also like a Kroom.
I'm sure.
They've got patchy scales on them. Some of their teeth are looking a little weird.
I'm sure the force field will hold.
Sure it will. All right, so the one you take half damage from, you take 3 points. That does not get through the shield.
Cool.
The shield is a 4.
The others, though.
Let's see, 8, 12. That's a massive successes, which doesn't affect the damage. So each of them do 6, minus the 4. So you take 2 from each of those. So that's 6 total.
Yep. Wait, 6 total?
There were 4 of them.
Oh, okay.
One of them half the damage because you tied, and that wasn't enough to get through the shield.
Yeah,
and then
I
2
didn't
from each
count
of the others. So
yeah, I didn't count the last one. That's what happened. Cool. Not cool, but gotcha.
yeah. And then give me a strength roll versus their strength to see if they slammed you, because they just all randomly punched.
I rated a 10.
Let's see, their strength is a 6.
Ooh. It's high.
And with a marginal, doesn't do anything. They do not slam you. I mean, technically, I should probably roll all 3 of them, but that's... We're just going to do that once. They were doing the same thing. Patience ran off, and she has not done anything that is obvious. So they're really just regarding her like they would a random pedestrian that ran off. They're not gunning for her. Which means the next...
The rest are mine.
Yeah, the ones I'm officially naming 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15 are all running up to Jay. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 6 of them swinging at Jay. I'm so sorry, Jay. It wasn't meant to end this way. I'll tell Landshark you loved him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Why rolling so high?
You have the same option that Mike had. You can roll each one individually. You can make one dodge roll for the round.
I'll do it individually.
Okay. So the first one you need to beat is a 7. All right, you beat that one. Then you need to beat a 12 because that guy rolled max.
Not gonna beat the 12, but damn close.
But an 11, so you don't have to worry about being slammed or anything, which might disrupt your ritual. Then you need to beat a 9.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
But again, that's still... You take damage, but you don't have to worry about being slammed. Yeah, see, that was the 9. That was the 9. Then you got a 10 to beat.
Oh, Jay.
And another 12. All right, so you beat the first one. The second one, you take 6 points of damage.
So
minus the force shield, so only take 2 points from that one. I forgot. Patience put a force shield on everybody. Let's see, that was the 11. Because let's see, you. So many dice rolls. All right, so the 7 was the one you beat with an 8, and then the 12 you rolled an 11. And the 9, you rolled a 7. So that's another one where you take another 2 points. But no slams or anything.
Dang
The
it.
10, you rolled a 7. 7, 8, 9, 10. So take another 2 points of damage from that one. But that one got up to a major, which means you've got to make a slam roll, I believe.
I should have risked letting Adita come out.
Alright, where's the slam stuff? Under damage? Yes, that's under damage. Alright, so slamming. Outcomes. Let's see. Two strength. Major success. All right, that was a major success. So yes. All right, so you got to roll a slam.
What am I rolling?
It is your strength versus their strength to resist being slammed. So you need to beat a 10 with Jay's strength.
He's just not physically.
What about if you earned a point? Would it be physically possible then?
If I got really lucky, but yeah, I'll give that a shot.
All right. So what are you tapping? What quality?
Well, he's performing a song. He's got that music is life.
Okay,
Music and art is life.
that works then. That gives you a +2.
Huh. I don't know.
So that's a tie. But you got a +2. Did you add the +2 from the?
No, that includes the plus.
That
two.
includes the +2. All right. Well, then that's a marginal because it's a tie, and marginals don't allow it for slams. So that's all you needed. If you tie, it goes in your favor in this instance. So you take a lot of damage, but they don't manage to slam you.
Is that all the damage I took? I mean, I took a lot, but that was or.
Let's see. I think you took what, 6?
More? Yeah, I've taken 6 damage so far.
Let's see, and all of them hit you to some. No, wait. So you dodged the first one. One of them did half.
Because I may still be knocked out.
Let's see.
I've taken 6 so far.
Damage. Oh, you see, dodge that one, half that one. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 maybe. I think you would take 2 more points.
Okay, that put me down to 1, but I'm still up.
Phew.
Yeah, because you had 6 guys on you.
Yeah, I had a lot of guys on me.
You dodged one of them. Let's see.
Oh, I forgot to
Go
roll.
all the way through. Yeah.
I just remembered I forgot to roll to see if I burn out my my breath. Shall I make that roll now?
Yes, go ahead.
All right. No 1s or 2s. Oh,
2.
okay. How about a 2? And I put all I had into that last burst.
Well, he's going through puberty. With humans, their voice gets hoarse.
Exactly.
With giant serpents and dragons, their breath whipping gets kind of iffy. It's like your voice breaking,
Mm-hmm. How embarrassing. Can't kill anyone yet.
All right, so Jay managed to make it through the round, both conscious and still performing.
Hooray! Yeah, we got to get that.
The show must go on.
Exactly.
Then we're back to the top of the order with Kroom.
How much determination?
Well, he sees Jay dancing there like a madman, but doesn't really recognize that as a threat. And 6 of his guys are just beating on the man, and the man's still just dancing. He does not have any occult knowledge, so it's not like he would necessarily recognize what you were doing.
Boy, will he be surprised if this works.
Part of me's going, won't we all? So he launches into the air. Well, he's already in the air, but he was kind of just hovering over the sand. He launches up a little bit, kind of arcs over his guys. Looking down at Serpent Boy. He opens his mouth and his bottom jaw kind of unhinges slightly. And he spits.
Oh, he's going to show me how it's really done.
I hope that's not how he makes his minions.
Oh, right.
All right. So, where's the stats? There we go. All right. So this is a ranged attack. So that's his coordination plus his specialty power, spit. So that's a +1. So you need a 9.
Okay, let me just add a dodge roll. The attribute coordination, and I mean, yep, you got me.
All right. So that's 3. So that's a major success. Let me look up what you roll to actually resist the power itself. All right. All right. So you roll against his affliction with your strength or regeneration level, whichever is higher.
It is.
Let's see. Affliction is.
Ooh, nice. Rolled my max.
All right. So you beat that. All right. Let's see. All right. So you beat it. So you resist as this stuff gloms onto you. It's kind of viscous.
I'm gonna try not to breathe through my nose.
There
course,
is
I
like
breathe through my
a
mouth.
vapor coming off of it.
Oh boy.
Think of it as it's not like a loogie. The way he was coming down, you could kind of see that it was glands in his cheeks that kind of fired it forward.
Mm-hmm. I'll look around to see if do I start to see any pinkish splotches on my skin, or even like a little bit.
No, not really. Your constitution was sufficient to. It's not having any effect on you. He hit you with it, but it's not having any actual effect.
Okay. I may
You're
not
not sure what
necessarily
it was
know.
supposed to do.
Yeah, I was about to say I'm not sure if that's. I'm gonna guess that this is how he makes the minions, even though I don't know that yet. And I'll just hope it doesn't. Let's stay.
And it is
Stay
Serpent
safe.
Boy's turn.
Right. So I think he's just gonna use his stretching powers to like try to shake off, basically like spin his neck around and try to shake it off like a dog. And then having done that, he's going to try to grab, stretch and grab Saint Moon. Oh no, he's dancing, right? So
Yep,
I don't
he's
want to
doing a
disrupt
thing.
what he's doing. Yeah, I don't want to interrupt that, but maybe I stretch around and try to defend him so that he can stay upright doing whatever it is he's doing, even since he's surrounded by
Do you want to
minion
create a
property things.
quality that he could potentially tap for free?
I wonder if this might be. I wonder if I should just simply do like a defend move. I feel like that might be the most straightforward. Oh, either that or like try to make myself a conspicuous target. That might be the if we wanted to go the quality route.
Now the defend action, if I recall, let's see. Where's the combat actions?
After 2 seasons, it's still
Well, the book layouts.
Right.
I'm pretty sure I remember how this works, but I wanted to look it up to verify. I want to say you can declare kind of defense, and you do that by sacrificing your next turn.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
Let's see here. Action order: lifting, jumping, swimming, standing, attacking, blocking, maneuver, defending. Here we go. All right, the only action you take on your panel is reacting to defend yourself. You get a +2 bonus. All right, that's not what we were actually talking about. I know there's something for.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that basically just defends myself. I got you.
See, dodging, evading, interposing. That is probably what you were thinking of.
Yes.
You can choose to give up your next panel in order to jump in front of another character within range of your movement who is targeted by an attack, even if it's not your panel. So if your ideal was throw yourself in front of him to save him from taking a lick, you
Yep.
could still act this round, and when you had to do that next round, or if you had to do it next round, you would declare it, and it would just be the round after that you wouldn't have an action. Or, excuse me, if you had to do that this round after acting, the next round you would have an action, but you could still. Basically, you don't have to spend your action this round to do it. You'd be spending like the round after you did it was when you would lose an action.
Okay, but would Saint Moon still be defended this round, or would he only be defended starting next round?
No, like this round, if one of my guys goes to hit him, you go, I'm interposing. You make your rolls to see if you can get between him or whatever, and then the following round you don't have an action.
So I just act as normal, and only when it's clear that Saint Moon's about to get attacked, that's when I interpose and give up. Okay, cool. Well, I can no longer. My throat is dry. So, and I see that Kroom is. Oh, you know what? I might, as girl-stud as I am by that loogie, I might actually see that him like I feel if I was able to resist his loogie this time, his nasty spit this time, I think I might want to stretch up and try to this. I guess this would be a grapple because I want to like wrap my limbs around his jaw to keep him from being able to open up and spit at anyone else.
All right, give me a wrestling roll then.
Yeah.
Prowess versus wrestling if you have it.
No wrestling, although I probably should rectify that. We'll see if this works first. So this is physical attack involves stretching. Why do I have that? Well, anyway, I'll just do it physical attack. No, let me just add a wrestling prowess. No bonuses. Here we go. I've generated a 10.
He generated an 11.
No, okay, no such luck.
So you're trying to wrap around. He's yanking his head back and forth, and kind of fumbling with your arms. But you definitely have his attention. You are definitely the person he is coming after. Patience.
So, how hurt is Serpent Boy?
I'm all right. Well, I'm at 6 again. I'm at 4, so I'm not great.
But Saint Moon looks like he's barely managing to keep dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but is his dancing doing anything?
Patience doesn't know. Well, Patience might, if you're communicating with him by his mind, you might know. But
Well, I mean, is it doing anything currently?
not that you know of. Not that you can see. But, he goes after you. So.
Saint Moon is the more likely to die, and if he dies, the people come after me. So I guess I'm healing Saint Moon for 5.
All right, Saint Moon, give yourself 5 determination back.
Stamina.
Excuse me. Stamina. Important difference. Can you tell I've been running this game for 3 years? I can't. Alright, so you healed him. And then it's Saint Moon's turn. I believe your spell goes off this round.
Nice.
You're muted.
This better work because if I die, Land Shark's going to kill me. Okay, so I'm doing this at level 8.
Okay.
I get a bonus for occult.
Yep, your cult does go into it. $14 is the number to beat.
Why do they have to roll so freaking high?
I don't know. Sometimes I feel bad. Sometimes I wish I could I was rolling real dice so I could fudge dice for you. Do you have any determination you'd like to?
I do have a determination. I'm going to, because I want to make sure this works. I'll use the music as life again.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Here goes nothing. Damn it! I knew I was going to get a 1.
You know what's bad is you almost had to get a 1, despite them rolling
I know.
max, or despite the difficulty I rolled being a max.
I know. It was so close.
So you miss a step in the dance. As soon as you do it, you realize you misstepped because of the head rattling you took last round.
That would have been so funny, though.
I mean, you can continue to dance and try it again next round. But there are 6 guys standing around you, cracking their knuckles. So,
Yes, they are. And I've got 1 determination left. If I used, I mean, I know patience healed me 5 points. That's still down 3. If I use determination to heal myself, does that stop my spell? And how much would that heal? Is it your strength?
I don't believe it would. I do not believe it would interrupt the ritual particularly, because it's really just you know, telling yourself to suck it up, Buttercup.
Uh-huh.
And you get back either your strength or your willpower. You choose which stat, and you get back that many determination.
Okay. So would it be okay if I held off and see how big of a beating I'm taking while I get hit, and do it in the middle of that? In other words, if I use it based on my willpower, I would get 6 back, but that puts me over my 9. Oh, come on. Who's ringing my doorbell?
Oh, about to be 6 dudes.
That's
Yeah.
me.
Hold on, guys. I'm sorry.
It's okay. We'll just move on. We'll get back to you when you get back,
Okay.
because he has taken his action for the round, so I'll have his answer for the determination thing when he gets back. Oh, but then it's those 6 guys that are on him going. Okay. I guess we will start off with. Okay, so the 4 on Serpent Boy. Oh, and the ones he had stunned for a round come out of it. So we've got 6 of them charging after Serpent Boy.
Hey.
Hang on just a second. I'm going to mute Curtis.
Yeah, we'll tell you when he's back.
Yeah, don't let me keep him muted when he gets back. Mute. All right, there we go. All right, so 6 guys running up on. Let's see their prowesses. There's 6 of them, so I'm just gonna roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow. Okay. So once again, Mike, you have the choice of rolling once to dodge them all, or rolling them individually.
I'll roll once.
All right.
Oh, no. Wrong choice.
You're unconscious or dead.
Yep.
Well,
Yes,
all these
so-
guys are hitting with closed fists, so it's going to be knockout.
Mm-hmm.
So you've at least got that going for you. All right, so that's a 7 from the first. The first guy beat you by 7, so that's a massive success. 6 points of damage, -4 from the field, so you take 2 points of damage.
Mm-hmm.
Roll your strength versus his to avoid a slam.
I do not avoid the slam.
All right, so it is a moderate success. Damn, yeah, slamming. Moderate success. All right, so a moderate, he just knocks you prone. Which is probably a quality somebody else could tap, but we're not going to worry about that right now. The next guy also rolled a 12. So that's 2 more points of damage you take.
And that's what sends me to 0.
And all right, you're at 0, so you can't resist this slam at all. He rolled a 10. So yeah, he knocks you. Basically, the next guy runs up and kicks you. And you go flopping through the air up over the garbage can. Patience is hiding behind. And kind of in a boneless heap on the ground.
Right. Like a pile of dead spaghetti.
And the rest of them just kind of, give a slight cheer.
And Curtis is coming back.
All right, pop him.
Oh, they may. Oh, yeah, he's put his gear on, his headphones on.
All right.
Am I dead?
No, but
Nope.
I'm almost dead.
Servant Boy got knocked out though,
Ooh.
and sent flinging through the air. Let's see. Effort outcome. Come on now, where is recovery? Oh, that's what you make a calling. All right. So this is what I'm gonna let you do, Curtis. Because the 6 guys that are about to beat on you are about to beat on you. I'm going to let you burn that determination point to recover whenever you want to. Which is to say, the first guy will attack, and you can decide, do I want to use that recovery? Then the next guy will attack. Once we've decided to let a guy attack, his attack goes through before you can trigger it. But so first guy takes a swing at you. You need to beat an 11.
You are rolling really good this game, Jason. I'm
All
just gonna throw that out there.
It's roll 20. It's not me.
Now we can understand how those 3 other universes went down so easily.
Yeah.
Clearly, the die roller just gave up on him.
I hope Tolliver's able to get some help here quick, because we haven't even been able to take out the minions, much less the big bad.
Okay, so he hit this. So that's a tie. So it's half damage. The shield takes that. How much is left on that shield, Tyler?
2 turns.
2 more turns. Okay.
Yeah, it's not ablative, so it just takes 4 off a hit. So it just degrades over. It just runs out eventually.
It's at full power for its entire duration.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, so that's 6 damage minus the 4. So you take 2 points of damage from that one. Do you want to activate? Do you want to recover before I roll the next batch? You're muted.
I'll go ahead and do that. That'll cost me a point, but it'll bring me up to full.
Okay.
Rather than, it would put me up to 10, but I'll be at a 9.
Next attack. You gotta beat a 12.
Gosh, stop with that. That ain't gonna happen.
All right, so that's 6 points of damage. Oh, excuse me. That first attack, I forgot it tied, so that would have halved. So it wouldn't have gotten through the armor.
Oh, okay.
This
then
one
I'll-
would have, and then you'd have wanted to trigger it. So,
Right. Yeah. Okay. So we're
so
just
consider this to be. This one would have gone down like we described before, where the first one would have actually just dinked off.
right.
So, you're good right now. Next attack. Hey, there we go. 7. You got to beat a 7. All right, so that one didn't. So that's pinked off, hit you, missed. So that's 3 of them. Got to beat a 10. That's a medium-ish roll.
Ah.
And then another 12. Good grief.
Yeah, that one got me. So that'd be 2. Is that right?
Yeah, that's 2 more.
But I'm faring better than I was at the end of last
Yes.
turn.
Though you do have to roll a slam for this one too. But a 7's all you got to beat. Though it's strength, so I don't know how strong Jay is.
Not that strong.
All right, but you are not slammed. Top of the order.
We really needed Zach for this fight.
You know, I'll be honest, I was expecting you to have kind of a brick on hand. Oopsie.
Well,
All right, Kroom is going to make a awareness check right quick. Taylor, give me a stealth roll for patience.
Ooh.
What does that connect to?
That would be coordination, plus any
Gross.
specialty. I think there's a stealth specialty if she happened to have that.
Yeah, no.
You know, or if you wanted to burn a determination to tap something, type of quality, you could do that.
Patience is on a 7.
All right, so that's a tie. All right, so he does not notice Patience hiding behind the garbage can. You know, had he succeeded, he'd have heard her kind of gasp or something when Serpent Boy, you know, flew past her and landed in a heap.
Mm.
But she is the world champion, quite as a mouse player, so. Unfortunately, that means he turns around to look at Jay.
Yeah.
Who is still just dancing. So Kroom actually just sort of stands there looking puzzled. It just, what is he doing?
You have a minute. It's 3 of these and 6 of those.
2 of the saline. Right. Yeah, 3 and 6. You're right, Mom. I'm sorry.
One.
No, it's 3.
So anyway, Kroom is just going to stand there and see what his minions are doing, because you know they seem to be handling. You know, you're not doing any. You haven't really seemed to do anything. There's 6 of them around you. He's just sort of watching to see what his minions do. Patience, you're up.
Patience will
And the same for the alcohol. 3, 6.
Do I detect anything flying around?
Ready to try this?
Oh, let's see. Give me an awareness roll.
Can I use my detection as the awareness?
Yeah, that power will work.
Okay.
Okay. I guess I should roll a difficulty. All right, that's a massive success. You look in the general direction that you think the space station would be, and you do see 3 souls arcing down at high speeds.
Okay, so there's at least some help coming.
They do seem to be heading in y'all's direction. It's hard to tell at this distance, but you don't think any of them are in a seated position, so you don't think any of them are in vehicles.
All right, then I will. I'll heal up Serpent Boy 5 points so that he can actually be conscious and do something.
All right, power floods into Serpent Boy. His eyes snap open.
And that's my last heal on Serpent Boy before I have to start
Burning Termination.
doing rolls. Well, like I have to roll to check to see if it can affect anymore.
Oh, okay.
Or burn determination, one or the other.
Everybody gets 2 for free. All right. Saint Moon.
Okay, let's do this spell. Let's hope it works.
All right. Still doing it at rank 8?
Yep.
11's the number to beat. Though it's not a too high roll for a difficult for an 8.
But it's only...
All right, so you tied. Let me see what that does. Because this is magic.
Still only a tie.
Magic. All right. Success on the spellcasting test grants you the power at the level fairy means you determine if used again. Cannot cast a spell automatically by spending a point of generation. Let's see. Okay, in this case, marginal successes I think would still be successes. Because it just says successes and it doesn't specify anything about marginal. So you've got the spell. So you set off the stun?
Yes.
Alright. And what attribute are you using for stun?
If I can use willpower, I will.
Or actually, it might be... Let's see. All right, but this is in a burst. So roll a power test. Strength or willpower when you choose the power. So yeah, I have to imagine Jay would go with willpower.
Right.
Oh wait, this is you use your power level versus their strength or willpower. My bad. So do you think the minions have a higher willpower or a higher strength? Considering we talked about the fact that they don't think they have any free will.
Yeah, I think they've got a lower willpower.
All right, so they will roll their willpower versus your power level 8.
The occult bonus does not apply to that, does it?
No, this is the raw power. The occult bonus only counts to getting the spell to operate correctly.
Okay.
The actual power level does not. They rolled a 7. So you beat them by 5. And you were in the middle of all of them. Oh, wait, I forgot. I got to roll them individually, don't I? Okay, so number 3 drops and is out completely.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to stick around much longer, guys. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's no problem. Actually,
we are up time wise.
oh yeah, we're just about to wrap up. Actually, I just realized none of them can even possibly make the roll, so everybody drops except Kroom. Well, excuse me, they don't drop. They start dancing like they are choreographed with Saint Moon. I mean, they form up in a line with Saint Moon, or whatever is appropriate for this type of song. Kroom's mouth drops open, which is quite a ways because it's that kind of double hinge thing.
Right.
And it snaps back shut.
Gotcha, bitch.
But he glances over his shoulder. He sees where Serpent Boy's gotten back up. And about that time, you hear sonic booms. Kind of a boom, boom, boom. Like 3 of them shortly in a row. And you see the Primus, the Blue Ensign, and one of those masked, but otherwise uncostumed guys. And she's the one that comes in third. She's a few seconds behind the rest of them.
Phew.
And they kind of drop down, surrounding Kroom.
Where'd the
Patience will hook up to them telepathically and thank them for showing up because she has had a hard time keeping these two alive.
She's about burned out. Come here.
The masked lady that showed up, young lady, she's probably in her teens. She's like, why are they all dancing with him?
Magic.
I mean, I like the song, but oh man, I wish I could do that. And then there proceeds to be a beat down on Kroom. Servant Boy can get his swings in if he wants to. Kroom is strong. He doesn't seem to take damage especially well. And he gives back a few punches, but and you can tell the 3 big bricks can feel it when he hits them, but he tries to get away. They follow up after him. Then there's another sonic boom, and you see the Vasilef appear. His hand comes up. The Blue Ensign and the Nameless Heroine, they drop. I mean, they're 15 feet in the air or so they don't wind up like Dynaman. But they fall. Patience, you lose all vision. You lose your connection with everybody's minds. Serpent Boy, where you're stretched out, you kind of snap back to your usual, to the like normal human proportions. I'm not sure what else would affect you.
dog? They got that door up when you're not going out.
Oh, come on, he just wants to make a break for it. Jay, all your dancers stop dancing. They don't seem to return to themselves, though. They just kind of fall out. And you kind of feel yourself lose the spell.
I worked so hard for that.
Well, you succeeded in taking them out so they couldn't attack anybody. So.
The important thing is we got the dance scene for the opening credits, so it's all good.
You notice Crew also drops. Now he lands well. It's like he was not as surprised by it as everybody else was. The only person that does not seem to have been affected by it is the Primus. He just rockets into the Vasilef, and off into the distance they go. So the rest of you are all standing around, depowered with a depowered Kroom. Cinematically, how do y'all end it? Do y'all go ahead and beat this guy conscious?
Let's give him the beat down.
Put the boots to him, Jay. Put the boots to him. The soggy ruined the boots. It's all his fault.
I think he's just going to be ruining a pair of boots every adventure.
He'd stop wearing them. He never knows when an adventure's going to jump out and get him. All right, so y'all managed to take Kroom captive. S.P.E.A.R shows up. How does Patience handle her sudden loss of power?
She just kind of sits there. It's literally the first time she hasn't had a light in her face.
Mm.
Because she can't cut it off.
Can
She
she
doesn't
visually
see
see when her
otherwise, does
powers
she?
turn off?
Well, that's the thing. It's like the world is empty.
Oh, okay.
Because this is the first time she's ever not had it active. Because she doesn't cut it on or off. It's a passive thing.
Even when she sleeps, it's technically still just kind of there.
Yeah, she sleeps looking up at space though, and the lights are distant enough that it's not blinding.
That it's like it'd be like looking up at the stars. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's like, when she goes to sleep, it's like sleeping with your eyes open.
She needs a power dampening sleep mask.
So it's just this weird moment of the world just being the quietest it's ever been.
Except she can still hear, of course.
Yeah, but like she can't read a mind and she can't see things. So she's just sitting there kind of taking it in because it's just weird. And she can hear that combat has stopped, so she's just kind of there.
Well, you heard the
in the
crack
moment.
of that last big punch, and then people zipping off. But
Yeah, what exactly happened to the Vasilif at the end? After he neutralized everyone's
Primus,
power?
he flew off. Primus and him flew off. I think.
Primus didn't get
Oh, okay.
neutralized.
yeah,
and
Primus popped
Dak-
him a good one
Yeah.
that sent him flying. Slammed him basically because he wasn't expecting anybody to be able to respond to him after that.
Gotcha.
And then the Primus zipped off after him, so that fight is going off somewhere, or going on
Gotcha.
somewhere else, out over Lake Washington probably. Over the next hour, everybody's powers return to him. The Blue Ensign gets his back first. Jay is probably next. It's almost like the stouter people get theirs back quicker too. But by the end of the day, everybody's back to normal. Patience's sense comes back slowly. It's like you start picking up the people around you first, and then then it's kind of an ever-expanding sphere out to what she's used to. And we will wrap there for the day. Anybody that comes by and watches this after the fact, we'll be back in 2 weeks for part 2 of our 3-part conclusion. We'll figure out more of what's going on. And hopefully start getting, the heroes can start putting together a plan on how they might be able to, I don't know, save the world or whatever. Again, I've been your GM, Jason, and with me has been Curtis, Mike, and Taylor. Hopefully next week, Zach will be back. And we will see y'all next week.
We do need Zach and his trademark punch things hard characters.
Yes. Of course, you said that. He might have been here today and brought the boogeyman, so he'd have just been beating on somebody with a baseball bat. Which would have worked on the minions pretty well, though.
No. The boogeyman had those kind of like weird grenades, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, I forgot. He did have the, Lowe's hardware gadgeteer thing going on. Oh, well. Anyway, we'll see y'all next time.
All right. See you.
Same nerd time, same nerd channel.